most timely for me, kind of on a whim, I joined a design competition, had no illusions that we'd place anywhere near because we had people around the world applying, and we placed in the top 20, which enables us to build our vision of creating from basically a blank slate, a working path, a living, breathing path that doubles as a power generator, and high-tech V2G, that means in two-direction grid system for cars, electric cars, sustainable electric cars, light footprint cars, and what is being generated. And the path is an art form in the form of Fibonacci curve that spirals out near Burning Man and keeps getting further and further out from the central focus of this beautiful growing geyser that continues to get bigger. This sounds like fiction, but it's unfolding, and we're going to be building it next year. So that's just one of the things I'm doing. So just want to hear what everyone else is doing, and I'm fascinated so far.
Thanks,
so
Patrick.
Pass. Be right back.
Who's next?
Hi. Can you all hear me? Hi.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Hi, my name is Mel North, and I'm a portrait artist of indigenous wisdom keepers, and I live in the wild. I've been doing that for 2 years as a living experimentation with opening my consciousness to the living intelligence in the natural world, and what that means for humans, and reconnecting to that intrinsic relationship and a sense of belonging, and to each other as well. So thank you, and I'm finished.
Hello, everybody. I'll go next here, if that's working. My name's Taylor. I'm coming from Crestone, Colorado right now. I'm a musician and an artist, and I just got a camera. I'm gonna start experimenting, making pictures new to the visual arts, but got a lot of music to make, and some cool. My friends make these great drums, so it sounds like we can put some of these steel drums in some of your videos or so. Anyway, but yeah, great to be here. Thanks for hearing me. Bye-bye.
Who's next? Your 1 minute intro of who you are and inspiration.
My name is Chanel Hudson. They call me Sav. I am an educator and a project manager. I'm also a disability advocate, particularly in the realm of hearing, accessibility, and disability. I am super excited to work along with you. I do not consider myself an artist, though I do have some artistic roles. I do consider myself an advocate and ally, so I will be the person to lean on, hopefully.
Thanks, Sam. Who's next? Anka, Jenny hasn't gone yet. I don't think we've heard from Monica. Who'd like to go next?
Hello, everyone. Hi, John. My name is Jenny Carrington, the CEO of We Are Mother Earth, and right now I'm putting together a team around Togetherland Communities of Color, and we are going to be minting a virtual reality land parcel that is an NFT itself. The land parcel itself is an NFT to raise money for the artist residency. And then we're also going to be creating sub NFTs on that virtual reality land parcel to raise additional money.
Yeah, NFT land parcels. Woo!
Yeah, I forget. I missed the beginning, so I don't know what else I was supposed to talk about. We're raising money for our vertical is homelessness and mental health. So a little homelessness and a little rogue.
No question. Great work. So just for you and anybody else who joined late, this was just the intro. So great job. You're going to have about five, maybe 7 minutes now that we don't have a huge number of people in on this meeting to go more in depth on your vision and touch, move, and inspire attendees here. And not just here, this is recorded. So there'll be people there's at least 105 creators in our community. So you'll be able to, speak as though you're speaking to all 105, and they'll be able to watch a video at their own time and be moved to join you if they're so inspired.
Wonderful. Is that my time now, or we're doing that later in the call?
After the intros. So,
Okay, so that's my intro. Thanks, John. Nice to meet everyone.
thanks, Jenny. Anka, you're next.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Anka Oren, and I'm in San Francisco, and just this is all super new to me, super inspired though to create something for positive change. And I have two other kind of co-visionaries, and we have a meeting scheduled tomorrow to actually go over everything and sketch our vision. So that's the process, and also decide the verticals that we most want to contribute to. We're it's like they're all so important. So I think that's but yeah, basically, dance, ritual, ceremony with like a healing component, like that it would be a transmission of a deep healing for society, for everything, for the collective, for unity. So that's kind of where we're coming from. Thanks.
Love your deep wisdom. Thank you. And for those of you, also similar to Anka, thinking about which vertical, just know that, this is the way we're going to categorize your art pieces during the auction. Whether you're rogue doing your own thing, whether you're homelessness, decarceration, restoring the planet, or COVID relief, it is just a way of organizing the chaos of our creative process. So, don't get all caught up in it. We're doing great work. And thank you all and thank you, Anka, for your intro.
I'm Kelly Keith. I'm calling in from Costa Rica. I'm in the experience as one of the visionaries. I'll also be contributing the business component, bringing my sales and marketing background as well. So I have 2 people on my team built so far. So we're working with the vision of seeing the unseen. So we're bringing activation art is the intent to help stimulate. You hear a tree when it falls, even if no one's around, just in case you wanted to know. So we're simplifying the vision from the full art gallery to just a couple of pieces for the event. But yeah, it's starting to come together. So excited to see the rest of the team form around it and make some positive impact. We're focusing on Earth regeneration and the foster care system in the United States, supporting our young ones. And thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. All right, has everybody gone? I think looking at the list, everybody's gone. Sam Barnes, our co-founder, is having connectivity issues in Costa Rica, so he's not going to be joining us. But
Pura vida, ricos.
yeah. So I think Tico had mentioned a time constraint. So I want to give Tico 5 to 7 minutes maybe, because actually I think 5 minutes might be better with the timing we're at currently at 11:30. So Tico, if you have any visual aids you'd like to get prepared, please. And anyone who'd like to get next, please get your visual aids ready. I'm gonna hand over the host duties to whoever wants to share the screen. Please do not leave the meeting as host. That's what ended up ending the meeting for us last time. Yeah, please give the host position back to me before you go. It's a very important administrative issue. I didn't pay for, we're kind of a tight budget at the moment. I didn't pay for the co-host Zoom because so thanks for bearing with us as we're dealing with the imperfect technology. But who would like to go first? Who would like to get in line, get ready to go after Tico? Tico, are you ready to go?
I'm ready, and thank you, John. I don't have any materials at present right now to show you because I'm in a different area right now. But what I can say is thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for all of the creatives that are part of this project and the business minds and all the NFT minds out there. This is my first NFT project that I'll be working on. Thanks to John and Sam for putting this together. And my theme is basically restoration of Earth based on indigenous wisdom cultures and how the wisdom keepers of indigenous tribes around the planet have been working alongside and coexisting with nature for thousands of years. And our so-called civilization has lost touch with the spirits of nature, and so my art really focuses in on the shamanic practices of listening to the plants and tapping into the inner guru within each of us, and how we can each truly honor nature and take back, let's say, that the power that corporations have stolen from humanity for their short-term profits and gains. And so it is my focus to work on this art that will hopefully inspire many to tap into their coexistence with nature, and to within their communities across the planet to be able to plant as many trees and community gardens as possible through through these ancient practices of love and coexistence with nature. So I will have something to share with everybody, I guess at the next meeting, John, and I'll share it with you first, so you can see what I'm up to and take it from there.
Great. Thank you, Tico. A couple questions. Number one, so you're an artist, you have already amazing artwork. Are you going to be taking from your current inventory and kind of creating something from that? Are you thinking about creating something completely new? And what roles would you like in a perfect world to support you in the visionary role?
Yeah, actually, I'll be doing a bit of both. So I already have a body of work that I'm going to be developing further, and also new work that I'll be bringing forth. And so the type of team I would like to build up, hopefully, would be someone that could support the business aspects, the NFT creation aspect, because once again, I'm new to NFT world, and I've been researching, but this is all very new to me. So anyone that is into the psychedelic transformational structure, where we could work with within this realm, I'd be happy to speak with and dive a bit deeper into that.
Excellent. So Amir, you need a business role, which we're advising everyone to have a business role. The reason why is this is such a new space that we're kind of co-creating. We're kind of going to create new product categories that don't really even exist yet. So I'll be putting together a business brief for Claire Hadeen, the really wonderful vocalist who helped bless us with sound at the opening ceremony. And so I'll get that, to give other business people an example of what kind of work a business role could fill. So I love that. So in a perfect world, you'd want business, and then you want maybe technical help in the minting process. Is that what the second role was?
Yeah, technical help would be definitely handy. As far as the minting process, is there like a financial duty from each of the artists that are part of this minting process? How is that going to work out?
Great question.
Can I jump in there, because I also have to go in 1 minute? Can I jump in real quick before we answer these technical questions? Because I really want a chance to introduce myself further. And I'm just gonna show a couple of my art pieces. So this one is the Phoenix that I created when my mom was evacuated from the Santa Cruz Mountains due to the fires. This is something that I'm working on. It's hard to see in its full glory, but it's a snake wrapped around a cannabis leaf and a mushroom. And the words say, Oakland decriminalized, like a meme. We decriminalized cannabis in 2004 and psychedelics in 2020, specifically plant psychedelics, but that might be changing. And I just want to invite others to contact me. I put my email if you want to create visual arts. I'm not sure if we have a lot of time, but I can knock out a painting in a couple of hours. So I want to just make myself available to that. I also want to make myself available as a musician, and see what hits and what fits. I'll look forward to jumping on in another call in the future. Got to go right now, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what unfolds.
Quick question
guys.
before you leave.
Yeah.
So in a perfect world, what would be one of the roles that you'd want to, you just want to co-create with anyone? Because what we found because time is kind of an issue, if you call for a specific role, the likelihood of it being filled is high. If you call for an amorphous call to collaborate, the likelihood of collaboration is actually lower. So
I showed my art. I told you guys what I'm good at creative wise. I'm also, as I introduced myself, a social entrepreneur. I have a master's in social entrepreneurship. So I got a lot of shit going for me. If you feel like you want somebody who's like a real fucking go-getter and knock out paintings, get some music going, get some creative aspect, get some, entrepreneur aspect in your team, then I'd love to join you. And I don't really want to work by myself. So, reach out, please reach out, because I don't have anybody else. I don't know anybody else but John. And so, please send me an email at kindphilanthropy@gmail.com.
Thanks,
I'll see you guys later.
Bye. I'm going to go back and answer Tico's question real quick. If anybody else, please in the chat, if you have time constraints, please let us know so we can let you go first. So Tico, you had a question about the technical aspect or the payment processing of the NFT marketplace. Is that correct?
Yeah, as the creators, how is that worked out? I mean, I know that there's a fee or a gas fee for creating NFTs. How does that work?
Yeah. So just to let you know, part of building this beautiful event and incubator is that we're building it as we go. So right now we have not secured an NFT marketplace partner, but we're in process of speaking with a few. So if we minted on Ethereum, and the reason why we would have Discord is so we can have some of these complex conversations and not take up the creator update calls for them, but I'll at least start just because it's a very pressing question. There's trade-offs. If you use Ethereum, there's an enormous wealth pool that is ready to buy crypto art pieces for social impact, but there's high gas fees to upload it and environmental impacts that can't be denied. So that's one. But there's multiple, and there's a more sophisticated infrastructure for buyers. It makes the buying process much easier. There's new layer 2 Ethereum marketplaces, and OpenSea may have layer 2 by the time we're complete. So layer 2 is basically like an off-chain aggregator that is orders of magnitude less CO2 expensive, and also orders of magnitude less expensive to mint an NFT and post it on the marketplace. We're talking with a few layer 2 players, and we think that is the best solution at this moment in time that deals with the high cost issue and the high energy issue, and still gives us an opportunity to capture this enormous wealth pool to touch, move, and inspire these buyers for our work. That said, there are also NFT marketplaces on smaller chains that are just more complex for buyers because they don't have the technical infrastructure called MetaMask built into it. MetaMask is a on-chain wallet. I mean, that's hooked into a web browser that makes NFT marketplaces much more easily, a much more seamless experience. Though in blockchain, a seamless experience is nothing like a Visa transaction, just to be real. So just want to leave it at that and open up for us to join Discord and have these deeper conversations on the NFT marketplace channel. That's what it's designed for. So thank you, Tico, for whetting our appetite for that. And who would like to go next and share their vision? And let me know if you'd like to share your screen and become the host. Just please make sure to give me back host before you leave.
John, I didn't want to cut in, but I don't have to share right now, but I did want to ask, I'm just curious, does it have to be all or one or the other, or are there any hybrid option paths? Maybe
no hybrid options at this moment in time. In the future, there's interoperable possibilities. The technology is not there yet.
You just have to make the decision and commit firmly based on your best judgment.
Based on our best judgment as a collective.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Okay, sound good.
John, if I may, I'll share the vision that we're working on before I have to hop on off here. Thank you for putting this meeting together. I know there's a lot of pieces moving. So yes, as I mentioned, we're working with the working title of Awakening, Remembering Heaven on Earth, or Making the Unseen Seen. So the intent behind our work is to help people to understand and remember the connection of we are extensions of all living beings, pieces, and bringing in the indigenous wisdoms as well as the ethers and the celestials and connecting deeply with Pachamama. So we have one working piece where we have a being. I don't have any visuals with me. I'm kind of in the shuffle of meetings right now, where we have a being standing with the imprint of an indigenous elder and a sacred fire moving in the back. And the idea is to have more of a matte still piece of the artwork, and then there's activation components to it. So having a digital art is going to be very important for us in our work, to be able to have more of the pieces of the star codes, the light codes, the healing energy forces moving through the pieces. So the intent with what our team is working on is those who are experiencing the art, they're experiencing a stimulation within their psyche and in their energetic field to stir a remembering of the truth of our energetic mass and our connection to everything that is. Because I always like to go to, let's get to the core of the problems. And the more that we can remember that we are light, energy, tone, and frequency, and we can start to connect that with we are heaven on earth, we are the pieces of the stars walking on the earth, we can then begin to build the gallery into more of the complexities of it, starting to imprint the sacred geometries and quite literally activate people as they spend time with this art. So that's a very high level of the vision and what's being worked upon. And it feels really good. There's many different layers. I'm taking John's words of wisdom and starting a bit simpler with it in the journey of what's coming through. But we're really setting, it's beautiful. I have two powerful women already definitely on board for my team. And we're really setting it with the intent for those who want to take this experience to then also start to build this together and learn the ropes and keep it going to in time have the full gallery in the experience. So I'm looking for people who are about this time and also see it and feel it in their body that we're supposed to be a part of a team together, that oh, we're just starting of what's coming through to wake the masses. So that's super, that's what we're up to here. So if you're feeling a resonance in yourself, want to get involved, just know your genius, say I want to be involved, and we'll thrive together.
Thank you, Kelly, especially for the call to be embodied in your yes. I love that. Is there any, are there any roles of the business, the pollinator, the design, or the technician that you were thinking that you want to really help collaborate with that might be different than your skill set?
Yeah, thank you so much for the clear ask. So what we're really needing, we don't have a pollinator yet. So I love someone who's feeling excited to share the mission and have some people in mind. That could be, so really calling in a pollinator and a technician to help to build more of the technique and the codey things going there. I can really see one more designer. We have one powerhouse for creative, but I would love to have one or two creatives that can bounce off of each other to amplify it.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Who'd like to go next?
Yeah, I guess I'll give it a go quick. So hi everybody, my name's Anthony Dutra. I won't share just to avoid any issue, I won't share the screen, but the project that I'm working on and was sharing through the Regen network where it originally started is called Green Deeds. Long story short, this project is based to incentivize people to recycle as well as give their food waste to community gardens in order to create better composting. So that's where this idea comes in from. I live in a small town in Massachusetts where I pay for a small community garden plot. At that plot, you have a compost site, and in it, we basically created already a platform where you can put an NFT on. and be rewarded for that NFT for doing that green deed. So long story short, what you're doing with that leftover food is when a user brings it to us, I'm testing it as a validator. What is that contributing to the greater good of the community garden and the output of the vegetables? One of the NFTs that we're looking to create through this, what we really need is actually art, pretty much. So what will be rewarded to people for doing these green deeds? It sounds like a lot of you are artists, so that would be great if you have some earth-focused art that you're willing to share. We're willing to work with you guys to kind of upload it and sort of make it a thing. But right now I had like a 3D butterfly idea because we have a butterfly garden there. And I don't know, I was thinking like an AR butterfly that would be there if you did a certain amount of tasks. I already have basically a technician, the business visionary, actually through this program. So John, we already met somebody else called Pravan out in India, who is a pollinator looking to kind of expand this idea further. We've already talked to him. Yep, huge dude. So thank you for that. So yeah, so to the artists out here, it seems like that's really the majority of you are. If you have art that's mainly focused on the earth, and are looking to kind of collaborate in that respect, we might have a platform for you to for people to earn your art, pretty much.
Thank you, Anthony. I love your vision. What's the realistic nature of you executing an AR interface by July 15th?
It could be pretty high, but it would be super simple, right? I think my golden butterfly idea would be it. I don't know from an auction perspective if like an OpenSea or somebody would be interested in that particularly. That's why I would like to kind of make this open to you guys. If you have art like that's worthwhile, let me know. That might be better.
Got it. So you're thinking a really well-designed butterfly, because to be honest, like OpenSea, like we're going to be bringing the big hitters during our auction and during our outreach. We're going to be encouraging each of our creators to not only reach out to their individual networks to recruit their teams. It's great to recruit from within this internal ecosystem, and it's also great to recruit from people you already know, because the quicker turnover we found. We've done this Hack4Earth method 27 times now, and we found that the turnover is much higher when you already know each other and have resonance. And most visionaries I know, and Anthony, you're definitely a visionary, have fans that just didn't know exactly how to engage. And this process is, hey, I'm looking for this role. It'll be this many hours and you'll get this cut. If you get that all up front, people's nervous systems relax. They can easily say yes or no and plug into your vision and go from there. So love that you have the technical capacity to turn something over. We will have the VR viewing experience for our auction. And we want to touch, move, and inspire high net worth individuals to bid high on your work. So great call on getting some really talented artist folks, maybe Samantha, who was here earlier, somebody like that.
Yep, thank you.
Brittany and let me actually, before we do that, Brittany and Kyle have joined late. I'm wondering if you could both give like a minute introduction of yourselves, and don't dive into your visions yet. Everybody else had already introduced themselves earlier on in the conversation.
Brittany is actually, I believe, my co-founder, right, Britt? For Green Deeds.
Okay. Kyle, you want to introduce yourself for a minute real quick? And you're on mute if
yeah, absolutely. Hey, John, thanks for being the fearless leader here and sparking this this RegeNFT. I think it's brilliant, and I wish it, immense success and all the people involved being able to realize their visions. And I thank you for your guidance and your sometimes your bluntness and your just moving us forward and focusing on action, getting things done, and being clear about what you need and all of that. So thank you. Yeah, so I'm a big student of Buckminster Fuller. I read Critical Path, his magnus opus, when I was 17, and it changed how I see the world. I've had a number of experiences through the decades that have opened me up to connect with nature deeply. I've had, done vision quests with Lakota and Pine Ridge. I've done ceremony in Puget Sound, up near Olympia, where I went to college for a few years. I was involved in Bioneers, Seeds of Change before Bioneers. All of this has sort of set the stage for what I'm doing now, I think. Let's see, I'm a professional sailor, yacht captain. I've been doing that for on and off for 40 years. I know you're on a boat right now. I'm living in Costa Rica, and I'm working on a special, unique blockchain use case, what I call third generation. I see it as an integration of a number of tools and technologies that are being developed on blockchain, focused on creating a regenerative economy in a bioregion. And in my case, in this first use case, the Hudson River Valley. And that was very much inspired by your vision for a hackathon there, and obviously evolved out of our conversations around doing something around the 20th anniversary of September 11th. And it's a whole nother conversation, but, around trauma and healing trauma, collective trauma, individual trauma, and trying to pivot. What we need to do is pivot out of the malaise of that's come with COVID and post 9/11 realities, and focus on solutions. And I'm, creating art and merging art and technology is the way to go. Art moves people, moves their souls, and I want to bring that together with blockchain to carry out practical solutions and community building, and start moving money out of where it is now into regenerative projects of all stripes and kinds, and starting with the Hudson.
Love that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit, since you have the floor already, about the Hudson, the Hudson River NFT that you and Eric and Sam and Eckert and I think Jerome and a few others are discussing, at least at this time?
Well, we're trying to put together an initial call to really give a chance for everyone to air their piece, their strengths, and what they can bring to joint creation of a Hudson River Valley bioregion NFT. So what is that? What could that be? And just my own take on it is some kind of there's a number of organizations that have a lot of data about the river and the water quality over the years, current water quality. It has a history of, I don't think there's a number of Superfund sites. You have IBM dumping stuff that's now in the mud, in the muck at the bottom of the river. You have, I think, power companies. It's been litigated, but it's not cleaned up. And, of course, we have 600 forever chemicals that aren't regulated. Where are they? Are they coming into the river now? And all this sort of stuff. So there's a number of organizations that are working on mapping, and so the idea is my initial thought is to try to create a 3D dynamic living representation of that bioregion. And so it would be a map, a 3D map would show the valley itself and its contours and the river. And then you could click on a part of it. I mean, I don't know if this is even doable. You would click on a part of it, and, it would be, an organic field, regenerative agriculture, beautiful example of regenerative agriculture. And you would touch on it and you would just see, okay, on this 1/4 inch of green of soil, there are 1 billion, microorganisms that are part of living soil. Boom, you get an instant visualization of what that's like. And then mycelium in a forest, boom, you click on it. I mean, it's very ambitious. It's not likely to happen before July 15th, but maybe we can take a step in that direction and produce something that at least could attract some attention and some seed money so that we can take the next steps. So because we're planning a 6-week sprint based on your Hack4Earth method or using your Hack4Earth method beginning August 1st. So, you know, right after you're wrapping up here, and hopefully we have something in terms of an NFT to mint by the 15th, so that we can, you know, build something now, maybe mint something, and then build on the team and build on the auction and whatever proceeds might come to seed and to support the 6-week sprint that we're doing from August 1st to September 12th.
Love that, Kyle. So for all of you listening, Kyle's a big picture visionary wanting to bring regenerative thinking and ethos to blockchain technology and this bioregional context. And the way he's envisioning restoring a bioregion and tokenizing a bioregion, he's an extremely good use case to start with RegeNFT. And he used business language from Silicon Valley. Instead, what if Kyle can help us prove the viability of a new funding mechanism, where instead of going with the traditional seed funding where you have to beg VCs who might not be as aligned ecologically as we are, what if we could just sell them art pieces that are assets that go up and use those art pieces, use the revenue from the art piece to seed fund a restorative technological vision. So we have an opportunity to meet investors where they are and sell them artwork with potential high appreciation possibilities because of our social impact story. But we don't need to beg them to give us dollars, because we're not going to view the world the way they view the world. The reason why VCs and angels and private equity folks have done so well is they're very good at extracting money from a system by building scalable technology. And we potentially might not need them to be at the forefront of funding the regenerative ethos. We can be at the forefront of it and just fund the process by selling art.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And thanks for bringing it back to art, because I'll just mention this in passing, because early on when I was doing some background research, and was on, I think, Common Stack, Discord on Common Stack, I learned about a group in called No, that's a different one. There's a project in Europe that came out of Panda Labs, which is part of the World Wildlife Fund. And I participated in a Zoom call, and there was, okay, I'll keep it short. In terms of creating artwork around and tokenizing nature, there's a group that's come out of Panda Labs, a project in Europe, blockchain project, and a photographer is using his skills and talents to photograph forest that is then used to generate funds to fund restoration of the forest, additional tree planting. I don't know all the details, but it's happening. And it's really, really early in this. It's a new idea, and it's going to catch fire. And we're just at the beginning of all this. So, yeah. Thanks.
Anybody else? I know, Jenny, you have a vision to share. We want to make sure you have your plenty of time. And Anka, would love to see if you wanted to flesh out a little more of your vision. And any other visionaries in the call? Monica, I'm not sure if you had a chance to speak more at length about what you're up to. And Sev, I know you're here in a support role, so just want everybody's voice heard who wants to have their voice heard.
The past couple, maybe 3 years, where I've just kind of literally stumbled across these kind of synchronicities coming together and going out into all kinds of directions. And it's really exciting. And it's kind of hard to stay focused on any one because there's so many aspects. But what I really like, going back to the project, and I linked it and shared it with the Burning Man Foundation, it's land acquisition near where they have the event, is that it's called the Fly Ranch, is that there's everything that everyone has spoken about so far today is connected to what they're trying to create there. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just saying it's exciting because there are places in the world where there are resources, and they have basically a blank slate where you can do everything from habitat restoration to demonstration projects of all sorts, to 3D work that you can live in as an architecture of all kinds, and that it involves the indigenous peoples who were nomadic, who lived there, who could also participate in recreating this landscape and use it as a model. I got inspired to the point that our model, our team didn't seem to quite see it, but I'm trying to sell it to the world. I actually have gotten an introduction, personal introduction to the UAE family office, very wealthy people. So I can sell it to them if they are willing to. And there is one of their sheiks who is very interested, very wealthy. They spent $100 million on one wedding alone. And this person, so just to show you what's possible, about 3 years ago, I stumbled across an individual on a call on climate regeneration. And he's figured out over many years how to take mine waste, clean it up, taking all the tailings, make it safe to use in agriculture, pulverize it down to size where it's an additive and it replaces all kinds, any kinds of fertilizer, and it regenerates the soil back to where it was 100, 200 years ago in short order, and it's been proven. And not only that, but it's the process of making that ready to use, which is referred to as enhanced rock weathering, because it is from an old mine and it still remains in boulders. That process has been listed as among the top 100 leading means of regenerating or combating climate change by drawdown.org. So it has multiple streams of ecological and capitalistic revenue. And there's, just to put it in perspective, in the United States alone, the continental US, there's 800+ billion tons of mine waste currently leaching poison into the water stream, which is a known fact. It's rarely discussed, but I've got websites about this. And in the process of doing this, we can be restoring that land for reuse and cleaning up the water table all at the same time and creating lots of jobs. And this is just another example that is very ready to take off. And he's not a tech guy, and when I mentioned it to him, I'm not worried about that. I'm just showing just the potential of the different use cases we can plug in, and there's almost nothing I'm not interested in. So I would love to connect with everyone, and these are things that can be done anywhere in the world. And so it's really hard for me to focus on one critical few. I'm excited about what everyone has shown, demonstrated so far, and I would love to plug into everyone's project. I just don't know where to begin. I grew up in the Hudson Valley. So the Clearwater Sloop, I don't know, people have probably heard of Pete Seeger. He was the dude. He was the guy who was associated. I didn't even know who Pete Seeger was in those days. So he was the point person on the Clearwater Sloop. It was started in like 1966. They started, the modern environmental movement started in the mid-Hudson Valley at a place called Storm Mountain, where they were going to create a hydroelectric facility. It was stopped in like 1968 because of big citizen movement. That was considered second to
I love your inspiration.
Pilot Spring. Anyway, I will end with that.
Love your inspiration.
Yeah.
We just want to keep it on track.
It's just all these things.
Vision, and then we're going to move to the next vision.
Right.
We really appreciate your pollinator abilities. You're hyper connected in the environmental movement, in the earth restoration movement, for those who'd like to potentially capitalize on that skill set. And then, thank you for your time, bud.
Hi, let me take down that hand. Thank you to everybody who's showing up here. And what I forgot to say before is that I'm so very new to all of this, and I just learned about NFTs last week. And so the vision that I have, and it's been some of my work that I do, is I'm an Indigenous wisdom keeper portrait artist, and of living way showers and lineage keepers of how to relate to the earth. And I very much have been exploring with this concept of all the ill, war, ruin in our world stems from this inherent story within humans that we do not belong. What's up, Kyle? You're on the showcase now. That we do not belong to each other or with the earth. And so I'm very interested, how can we find ourselves re-relating with the earth and with each other? And from that in place, then we'll better know how to replant trees, for example. What I heard, and I'm not here to recorrect anybody's vision, but replant trees as much as possible, I think is such a noble act. But I think there's a step in listening. There's a step in creating space within ourselves to, how do we have that relationship with the trees so that we know actually, so that we know and we acquire the intelligence to do that. We acquire the consciousness to actually do that in an effective. And so what I want to do through my art is give the microphone back to the indigenous wisdom keepers. And so we learn how to listen to ourselves, listen to our own inner wisdom keeper, and navigate how to actually identify in the world in a harmonic way and experiment. And so I stand very much for that listening. And I'm going to turn my video back on just to show you some of my work. I'm not near my mobile studio right now, so you're going to have to see it on my computer. But I work on large scale canvas. So he's Kuyo, he's a wisdom keeper from the Unugan tribe in Alaska. And
FYI, I can't see anything. You have a blurry picture. Out there, you can almost see a little bit, just so you're aware as far as the impact of sharing on this medium right now.
I so appreciate the feedback. Can you see a little bit?
Yes, and it's on your website too, and I've reviewed it and it looks great.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. That feels really complete, and I feel like I've given a gist of the vision that may sound simple, but I think it's very important to get in touch with our roots, and there can speak so loudly in simplicity as well, and being embodied and rooted in who we are. Okay, finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel. And Mel, we encourage you to potentially, make a 5-minute video separate from this, even if it's just a screen share, and post it on Discord so we can really get your transmission, because I hear that you're speaking from the wild in a really beautiful space, and we want to be able to capture some of that magic that may have been lost in this choppy transmission.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Jenny, would you like to go next?
Yes, hi everyone. I have been listening even though I've had my camera off. So thank you for sharing your visions. I will probably try and listen again to the recording as I've been doing. John, thank you so much for hosting this wonderful space for co-creation. Everyone, I am the visionary in my team, and I have been curating people to come together around my vision for Togetherland Communities of Color. What is that? Togetherland is a mix of the New Earth paradigm that has been circulating in the regenerative ecospace and the virtual reality paradigm that has been circulating in the crypto space and the NFT space. Togetherland is an infinite reality experience. I didn't come up with Togetherland, one of my team members did. XIR, extended infinite reality. So what we're doing is we're meshing virtual spaces with physical social impact. I happen to come across a perfect venue here in Miami. I was here for Bitcoin Shitcoin actually. And, also pretty new to the NFT space here, guys, but learned a lot in a very short period of time. And looking forward to learning more. But what I'm finding is that the fear that I have around crypto is that we're going to end up with a bunch of wealthy humans and their VR goggles, you know, tuning out to the environmental and social realities of the world. And then we're going to end up with a bunch of people in poverty who are becoming sicker and more disconnected, and then are becoming a quote unquote burden on rich people, you know, and we're participating in this cycle as we speak, right? So that's why I'm called to participate in RegeNFT. So where does this lead me? I show up at an artist residency in the heart of the inner city of Miami. And they are doing work exchanges for mural art on the walls. And so people come and stay at the artist residency, and they're housed. These are artists who were on the street. So homelessness, one of our verticals, people on the street are now being housed, and in exchange, they're creating beautiful murals and or performing at the venue's events. So this exchange is really beautiful, and it's taking place in the heart of Miami. At the same time, we have the launch of a virtual reality space called the Ozone, which if any of you are burners, you may have been at the Ozone Universe MetaBurn. It's virtual reality land real estate, like land stewardship on the VR space. And so they are already minting land parcels as NFTs. So I was at an art gallery opening, and I had an idea, and I went up to them and I said, let's mint, let's have you sponsor Esquina de Abuela, this artist residency, and let's an NFT, and then we can submint the various art projects within it and raise money for the artist residency. But then this is a really scalable model, right? So in terms of supporting the homelessness vertical, we can replicate this with any artist using the NFT hierarchy, where we're minting a virtual land parcel, minting potentially the physical parcel, and minting the art that's within the land. So there's multiple, it's like a multiple level tiered vision. Currently, and I know John has been really good about trying to get me to ask for specific roles on my team here. I'm really looking for, I'm really not looking for artists. I've got a bunch of artists already, but I really am looking for, I think, a business person. I do have an NFT crypto expert, but he hasn't officially signed on yet. So I'm also potentially looking for someone in the crypto space. I think we're pretty good on visionaries, and I think we're pretty good on artists. And I think we're pretty good on pollinators. So if you're called to participate in making the artist residency, artist homes visible to the world, reach out to me. Togetherland communities of color, using art to unite people of color through virtual and physical space land stewardship. Thank you.
Excellent. Well done. Thank you for the clear ask as well at the end. That was really well done. Hey, Monica, I know you had something to share, and you were the first one to introduce, and you haven't spoken since. So love to hear your voice. Anka, you want to go next after that, or?
So I just heard about this project literally yesterday. So I don't necessarily have a project other than I'm working with Kelly. So that's the project that I'm working on. But my purpose is to be in this space because too many of people that look like me are left out of this space. And that's, you know, and so really like that's my advocacy. So make sure that I'm in the room, my people are in the room. I speak for millions of people that look like me. I am the head of the Asian African Chamber of Commerce here in the USA. So I want to bring this information to the global front. So I'm really a student. I'm a student. I want to learn from everybody.
Love that. I'll be circling back later with potential some outreach for people in your networking community that still could potentially plug in here, because we need influencers like you to attract them in. So thank you for showing up.
Absolutely. I'm here for it. Thank you for having me.
So I'll try to speak and I'll keep my camera off. Yeah, so like I said before, the vision is would be a filmed dance ritual healing arts piece with the intention of really kind of honoring the ancestors, honoring the land. We talked about Gentry already generously offered to video it. So we have him, and we talked about possibly going out and shooting this on Angel Island. And my two other co-visionaries are really on board with that because we all kind of have a connection to that land. And so honoring the land, honoring the ancestors, honoring the systems that have brought us this far, that have worked in certain ways and are also no longer working in a lot of ways, and honoring laying it to rest, and also honoring the dead, honoring the ecological destruction and the new earth, and being in ritual space to birth that and awaken that. So I think that that's kind of what we're visioning right now, and it would be filmed, and it would be a transmission of that energy. So what we're needing, I mean, we've got our visionaries, we're going to need other dancers, we're going to need other embodied people to be in this and move, and I definitely have resources for that. But if anyone here feels called, we'll probably need an editor. And then, like I said, I'm totally new to this NFT space, so we will need someone for technical help and business help and all of that. Hopefully you all heard all of that.
Heard the vast majority for sure, but thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
You know, just to let everybody know, I know we spoke a little bit about this. Right now, it's just about the artwork. We will walk you through the process of minting the NFT, which is just an annoying administrative task on July 16th. So right now, you know, I mean, like we can potentially handle that as a community itself, but just want to, you know, thank you for your vision.
Yeah, so we don't necessarily need a person on our team for that, though. We more need like marketing, kind of marketing business.
Marketing, business development is the key role for each, for trying to get the highest bids. Yes.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, if everybody has shared, I know Seb, you said you're going to support in this in some way. I didn't know if you wanted to share your skills or any support roles right now want to share, or if there are any visions that that still want to speak, please do. And then if you have Q&A, this is kind of a, unless visionaries come first, but otherwise support and Q&A is this time right now until 12:30.
Guys, like Brittany's actually here, my co-founder. Talk a little bit more about Green Geese, the vision, technical stuff. Might be interesting to you guys.
Hi.
Oh, there we go.
I just wanted to introduce myself. Like Anthony was saying, I'm co-founder of Green Deeds, more of the technical side of things. It's exciting to see so many creatives here talking about this. I think it's important that we have that side. You know, crypto is very technical, and I think it's difficult for creatives to get excited about such a technical thing when it's so, you know, it's very fictional. There's nothing very grounded in the earth with crypto. So it's exciting to hear people are getting excited and interested in it despite that fact. And yeah, I come from a theater background, so getting creatives and technical people to mesh and create a wonderful production for everybody is something I'm used to, and it's really exciting to hear everybody's visions. Just wanted to say hello. Yeah, any consult or anything like that, you feel free to reach out to me and I'll try and help you guys out.
Brittany, you're a technician in the AR space. You're like gold here. Is there any availability for you to join other teams, or you're booked up completely?
Reach out to me. I do have other people that I know of that didn't apply to be in this hackathon or whatever we're calling this, but they still might be interested in having some extra work right now. So
excellent. Well, make sure that Taylor, who was on earlier, and a few other players are aware, because there's a lot of people with AR desires, but not always AR competent. So thanks for showing up.
Sure. Yeah, that was it. Just wanted to say hi.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your voice. Would anyone else, specifically those who haven't spoken yet, you know what I mean, want to share anything or have any questions for some of the creators who've been on? If not, I can share a bit about the timeline of what to expect. Because, you know, like I said, this, I'm glad Brittany used the word hackathon. This process was devised through two Earth-focused hackathons through Hack4Earth. One was a just Hack4Earth. The other one was a bio-regional impact event called Hack the Bay and Delta here in San Francisco Bay. And yeah, so we've learned a little bit about what it takes to build a team. And the clear asks is really something that, so there's a process of enrollment where you touch, move, and inspire people with your vision, and then registration, with which we're going to get people some templates for contractual agreements. Nobody is registered into the RegeNFT art auction until they have a signed contract with the team. So, you know, people are welcome to be here and look around and browse before you decide to join up. But we just want to be clear that the registration is a very clear set intention thing. And 25% of the money has to go to one of the 4 verticals, or rogue vertical, if that's your inspiration. And then 5% comes as an administrative fee for us to keep going. And then there's a 70% pie to share for your NFT auction piece for the creative team to share. So you have to specify exactly who's going to get what, so we can all create with intention and openness and expansiveness. So we're targeting June 23rd after Mercury retrograde to have those contracts signed. And then we're going to be creating artwork all the way till July 15th. And then the goal is to have July 16th, we mint the NFTs. So you don't do anything about the NFTs until after the art deadline. And we'll all do that administrative task on the 16th. And then have a gallery space set up both virtually and in person for our network to share with our high net worth individuals. We're really encouraging you as the creator to touch, move, and inspire people in your network, as well as we in our network. And that's how we think we can have the highest impact possible for both our vertical causes, for our creators, and for, you know, give these crypto wealthy an opportunity to participate in the things that we're so inspired about. So, is there any questions about that or any questions about anything else? Please don't hesitate to ask.
John, did you use the word rogue vertical?
Yes.
Okay, so that means kind of like a wild card, something that's new, potentially disruptive, not necessarily. Is that what you're saying?
So the rogue vertical has been written about in a couple of the emails, and it's the vertical where if you're not giving to one of the other 4 verticals, but you have a social impact cause you're excited about. I'm not here to police the nonconformists. I'm a big fan of nonconformity, so we are allowing space for it. You just you'll have an opportunity to present at the end of the auction, and you'll be listed under the rogue vertical. Whether some people were excited about mental health, other people are excited about a few other causes, and we wanted to be able to fit that in, but in a way that was a cohesive story. So that's how co-founders and I decided to do it.
Got it. Okay, so you just called it rogue vertical for whatever reason. It doesn't have any negative, or it's a neutral. It doesn't have any kind
I think rogue is positive, but it's up to you,
right.
and you can put whatever you'd like on it.
Okay, I understand.
This co-founder team, rogue is all good.
Got it. Okay, got it. Cool. Is it possible? Is it? And I would assume the answer is yes, but is it not? Is there any conflict of interest in being involved in more than one team? I mean, I wouldn't be my preference, but I'm extremely diverse in my talents, and at the same time, I feel like I need to really. It would be best in the best of worlds. I would be working with one team, but my time has.
Yeah, the process is you need to have clear written agreements. You know, so if you have clear written agreements with each of the teams, and your participation is understood and clear and not, you know, and not unclear, that's how we allow for that opportunity. So we encourage people who are on multiple teams to just check in to see whether or not they have the bandwidth to execute. And we're going to ask everyone to be really honest about that. And if there is bandwidth, then please, especially with your Pollinator abilities. I want to hand it over to Melly a little bit, because Melly just joined. You want to say a few words before we close out in the next 5 minutes, Melly?
So let's see. We've been discussing with our team, and I would say, well, our working title for now would be Totem, because we want to work with the idea of creating like a kind of like a totem with the idea of creating an object that can be like a bridge between the physical and the virtual realm, and that can bring like sort of protection to the owner of the NFT. We came up with this idea because we are very inspired by nature, and that's also our social problem context. Two of the members of our team, me and Smosgasbord, we are from Costa Rica, and as many of you might know, we come from a country that has a lot of care about the environment and has many initiatives that support the environment, and that is like our cause to create this NFT. So talking about the potential impact, we want to support. We are still looking for the organization that we want to support, but it's definitely going to be focused on environment, on Earth. That is like our intention. And regarding the look and feel, and also taking in account that both Randall and I are visual artists, we want to bring like an organic feeling to it. We want to work with 3D modeling with free software. So I think we're gonna go with Blender and other open source options. But we want to achieve a look and feel that will be like organic, where you can like make like an interesting balance between the shapes that you can create in the 3D modeling, but also have the potential to see a little bit of illustration in it, either like probably mapping it to the surfaces or something like this. We want to explore some options, and we want to create also a physical object to be attached to the NFT. So we were talking about making a 3D printed sculpture that can be possibly made out with eco-friendly materials. So we're gonna make some research about 3D printed materials, either, I don't know, vegetable fibers that can be used in the combination of the plastic to print and things like that. So in the end, we want to also create like an audio-visual expanded sculpture. That is the concept that we were came in with, because we also work with mixed and augmented reality. So we were potentially thinking that our sculpture can be the trigger to an animation that will be the NFT. And in that sense, going back to the idea of totems, we want to make this like techno totem to guide and protect as a bridge between physical and virtual world. That is like somehow the benefit that the buyer can get from us. And we are already scheduling some drawing sessions so that we can land more how this will look. But and we're also looking for the potential recipient organization. But yeah, we are very excited and we're working on it. We also want to include some audio into the animation, because Hack4Earth and Randall, they also work with music. So that is like in a very brief way what we are planning to create.
Thank you, Melly. Wonderful vision. Hey, and have you filled out the Sketch Your Vision paperwork? and put it on
Yes.
Discord? Excellent. Thank you so much. Look
Well, I
forward
have to put it on Discord, but I will do that right now.
Please do. And for
Mhm.
those of you plugging in, please go to Discord Sketch Your Vision channel is meant for you to sort through these visionaries' work and decide which team to join. Kyle, you wanna end this meeting with just a quick mention of what it is you're excited about in Costa Rica, and then we'll end it here.
Yes, thanks, Sean. Hi, Mel. I'm Kyle Hentz. I'm in Rhode Island right now, but I live in Costa Rica. My wife is Tika, and I just about jumped out of my shoes the other day when I read about Curitibat, the municipality in Central Valley that passed an ordinance, a rights of nature ordinance, and that recognizes the rights of bees, trees, butterflies. It's one of the only places in the world that's done this. And I just thought, well, I got excited. I'd like to have an office there because I'm working on a rights of nature project. And I just thought perhaps there might be some connection between what you do when you have a finished piece and approach the visionary who's a former alderman or mayor of Curitibat and share your work with them, because the rights of nature is a global movement that's really important. And I love Costa Rica, and I want to see Costa Rica do more of this kind of thing to show the world that we must respect the rights of nature and to bring us back into balance.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I wasn't aware of it. Well, I'm actually living in Mexico City, but Randall is in Costa Rica. So that's great. Yeah, we would love to get in touch with the mayor to talk about it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll try to touch base with you and make a mental note to do a little due diligence and see if I can find a contact for you.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, everybody, for your time today and for sharing your visions and your passion and joining us in this process and journey of learning together. So let's continue to focus on creating incredible artwork, on touching, moving, and inspiring people in our network who might fill the roles we're looking for to build our teams, as well as capitalize on the talent pool that's here in this community. And let's move along to the next step, which will be written agreements, and we'll get you templates in the next few days for that, so your teams can be ironed out and sorted, and you can create incredible work together.